Welcome back from that short break, and of course elsewhere across the league we had very interesting results, kicking things off on Saturday with Leicester City playing Tottenham. Very, very big game for both these managers. Leicester coming out on top against the Tottenham side that we might have thought after the draw in midweek were keen to respond here, team.
Yeah, I think that is what has failed to happen, Tony, for Mauricio Pochettino's side. Every time they seem to go behind, they failed to respond. We thought maybe the Champions League was an ear opener for them, but it didn't seem to be. Yes, they did take the lead through Harry Kane, but they did not play well in that game. Should have made it 2-0. Again, VAR coming to play there for
Son's goal.
At this time, 1.6 centimeters. I think that's very close, Tony. But Leicester bossed the game, got an equalizer there, and then a brilliant strike from Maddison. I thought, Tony, the table standings is what gave Leicester City an incentive in this game here, because all these guys were tied on 8 points, and anyone who gets a win goes ahead of the other. Leicester are third place right now, and they deserve to be there. So I think that incentive of the weekend top six contenders, Tony, I think gives Leicester the chance.
No, Leicester have suddenly been in form. We talked about the threat that they carry. This side, when they meet the top six sides, usually they give us a very good performance. They lost against Manchester United, but showed how much they can do. In that particular game, Manchester United almost just snatching that win through a penalty from Rashford. They came back now against Tottenham and showed that they're a very brilliant side. They can be able to hurt anyone on their day. It will be interesting to see how far Brendan Rodgers can take them. Vardy is one player that has come back to life under the new manager. It's very, very interesting. This Leicester City finding themselves in third place. That's a very, very high place currently after 6 games, team. Kudos to those players right there. And James Maddison is a very, very brilliant player, future England player in my opinion. It will be very interesting to see how they carry on, and perhaps some of the people that might be thinking they're just keeping this third place for another team there. But one team that made sure of everything, team, was Manchester City, responding emphatically from that 3-2 loss away at Norwich. They came here and hammered Watford 8-0, the biggest of Pep's reign at Man City.
Yeah, Tony, they say the best way to respond to your critics is by getting it done. And I think Pep Guardiola wanted to do it in the first 2 minutes, if possible. They got that goal inside 55 seconds, and from there on, it was just Man City doing the job.
It was 4-0 at 18 minutes.
4-0, 18 minutes, Tony. That is devastating. And if Pep Guardiola is to keep that momentum against all other teams, they have to worry. They will be beaten 5-6 every week. It's
a big problem, especially for everyone now looking at Pep Guardiola's side. The injuries seem to be clearing up. Benjamin Mendy got the full first half in this particular game, getting 45 minutes under his belt after coming back from injury. There were chances for Angelino, who is the newly signed player from PSG. There were chances in the defense for Eric Garcia. Very, very deep side, this side that we're looking at, Manchester City. Raheem Sterling. Mark Hugh was on the bench, another player that we know can get a hat-trick in such a route.
Didn't play any part in this game, but if Sterling is out, then you'll have Bernardo Silva, who got a hat-trick in this game. So it tells you that going forward, Man City are a clinical side, and if you're questioning the defensive fragilities in Man City, then they're going to score you 6 and ask you to outscore them, which is not possible. And then Kevin De Bruyne, Tony, what a sweet right foot that boy has.
No, he's devastating. I've talked about him very many times. In my opinion, maybe up to now, has been underrated. No one has mentioned him when it comes to the personal accolades. He's a brilliant guy. He makes things look very easy, and I think perhaps that's why no one takes a note of this guy. He's one of the best creators and passers of the ball in the world. In my opinion, is very, very fantastic, this guy. It's very good to watch him, and of course Manchester City knows that when he's on the pitch, he can spring up any kind of thing. He was off the pitch against Norwich, and that's why Pep realized that he's one of the best players that he has in his squad. He can't afford to drop him again. And of course Manchester City getting themselves back into second place on 13 points behind Liverpool, 5 points there. So it's very, very interesting to see how they'll match on. Jurgen Klopp saying that he wasn't worried about that 8-0 route. He's only worried about points. Comment about that.
Yeah, Tony, it's about the 3 points. Whether you score 8 goals, you'll be given only 3 points. So Jurgen Klopp will not worry, especially knowing he has a buffer, Tony. 5 points is a big gap in the Premier League, and I think winning at Chelsea is a better 3 points compared to beating, I think, Watford 8-0. I would take 3 points.
And if you look at the runs for both sides, Manchester City and Liverpool, until they meet on 25th of November, there doesn't seem to be any serious opposition. We may have to wait for that.
I will take a while, yes, Tony, and tell you that both sides are going to pick up 3 points until that day.
Big bold prediction from team in that particular one. Liverpool and Man City looking to go all the way this season in the league. Very brilliant sides. This 8-0 team that was really emphatic. And on Sunday afternoon, we saw very interesting results as well. Manchester United kicking the Sunday off away at the London Stadium, getting beaten 2-0 by West Ham United.
Beaten 2-0, Tony. And if you're a Man United fan, I don't know where to start from, because these guys, Tony, seem to be off pace everywhere.
Let me help you, Tim. Manchester United have come into this season with 2 strikers, Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford. Martial has been out.
Proven number 9, Tony.
Who might we say might not be proven at that level, at least in terms of consistency and banging in the goals. Manchester right now, Marcus Rashford hobbles off in midway, second half, and whereabout. Anthony Martial is out. Up next is Arsenal. Where does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer look? He had to run away, finish this game with Lingard and Daniel James attacking in that forward position.
Tony, first of all, I don't think the Rashford injury was that gross. I think it was something minor, but maybe he didn't have the feeling for
he wasn't in the mood.
Game. But if they are going to play Arsenal over the weekend, I tell the doctors, get these guys on injections. They all have to play. You have to need Pogba.
Including Pogba.
Pogba has to be there. Martial has to be in that team. Rashford has to find a way of coming back. Luke Shaw has to find a way, Tony. Ashley Young should be retiring soon. It's all over the place for Man United. And if they don't sort this business now, Tony, then it's going to be tricky for them. And I think Ed Woodward is praying for January to open that window and make some purchases.
Let's talk about West Ham, because they came into this game and stifled Manchester United, didn't let them create any chances. They themselves got a few chances and put away one brilliantly taken by Andriy Yarmolenko, who is also back from injury. Very brilliantly taken goal. And of course, getting that second to just kill Manchester United from Aaron Cresswell. How far has Pellegrini brought this West Ham side, you think?
Tony, outside the top 2, that's Man City and Liverpool, the other 4 teams, the Arsenal, Tottenham, Man United, Chelsea, I think they have dipped in such a way that West Ham might be knocking at the door to join them. And should West Ham, Leicester City, Everton join those guys, then we shall see this top 6 go into top 8, because we have to accommodate the big 6 sides. And I'm scared. We're talking about top 8 already, because Man United is number 8. I don't know where Chelsea is.
It's number 11.
We cannot go that far, Tony. But West Ham, Tony, has climbed a step. And Marquis, they did not play with Lanzini in that game. I think Lanzini is one of those creators who breaks down any defense.
Very dangerous.
United were lucky. And 2-0 actually helps Man United keep some face. Otherwise, it could have been 3-4.
Very interesting performance there away from home. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer having all to do in this week to try and sort those out before he faces Arsenal, a team that showed all the spirit and character in the final game of Sunday evening, just while Chelsea and Liverpool were tussling it out. Arsenal holding on and snatching a late win from Aston Villa, 3-2. In a thrilling performance from both sides. Yeah,
Tony, I told you Arsenal were going to win this 4-0, but I also did mention that any day Arsenal can draw this 2-2, and it was almost going into that. It's a team that you do not know what they bring on what day. If they're terrific, like that Aston Villa game, they became terrific in the last half when
there were 10 men.
Yeah, when they're 10 men, and that's the Arsenal you'd expect to play week in, week out, but it's not there. Then you look at the likes of Guendouzi pushing this team. Aubameyang, Tony, with no doubt, is world class. I think you've said before, he feeds off nothing but gets the goals. But it was Guendouzi, Tony, who got the passion, who carried the extra man in him, and then led Arsenal to the win.
For Arsenal to be blowing hot and cold like this, they came in midweek, won 3-0 in the Europa League. Last week, collapsed against Watford to throw away a 2-0 lead. They came back from Tottenham 2-0 down and picked up a 2-2 draw. Is it a character of the manager or the character of the squad?
I think it's the squad, Tony. We oftentimes blame the manager, but I think it's the squad, Tony. If everyone is to play at about 90%, then you will not have these lapses of going two up and then throwing that. You look at the Aston Villa game. Arsenal allowed Aston Villa to play, and Aston Villa knows Arsenal is not that strong at the back. And from nowhere they went 1-0 ahead of Arsenal. So if you have to come from behind and push on, it's a bit tricky. Instead of you setting up a 2-0, 3-0 lead, do like Man City, do like Liverpool, do it. They get a comfortable cushion goal there and then start playing their game. But this Arsenal side allows the lesser teams to score fast and becomes hard for them.
Very, very interesting. Guendouzi certainly putting in a key man of the match performance. A lot has been talked about him being a warrior, a character that's been lacking in the first few Arsenal sides there, showing he's a very young man at 20 years old. For him to have chased everyone around like that, very, very brilliant. And of course the substitution of Xhaka to bring in Torreira at the end also injected a little more energy into the Arsenal midfield. Arsenal snatching those 3 points to take them as high as 4th in the table. That shows you how unpredictable this season has become. Arsenal started the game in 11th, ended up in 4th. If you look from the 7th to the 14th, there's only a 1 point difference.
Yeah, Tony, 1 point difference. And that shows you said Chelsea is 11th right now, but should they win the next game, surprisingly they could make it maybe the top 4. So this is the level, Tony, the teams in the Premier League, and the competition is fierce there, because everyone knows if I get a win, I'm in the top 4. That's what's happening, Tony, and it's going to be fantastic going on.
Very, very brilliant weekend all around. Very, very big results for neutral fans, especially. They are big results for the big managers, and of course we'll be going into the next week how the managers respond. We have the EFL Cup coming up. We'll see how those managers try to tinker around with their squads to pick maybe the reserve players to partake in those as we wait for the weekend's next fixtures. With that, we have nothing left to say. Enjoy the week and goodbye.